Hello everyone, welcome back to our SDET channel. Today we'll continue our Python journey and build on top of what we have learned in the last video. So in the previous session, we have discussed some important Python concepts like how to take input from the users using the input function. We also understood why the values we take from the input are treated as strings by default and how we can convert them into numbers using type conversion so that we can perform calculations on them. We then covered Python decision making using if else, and elif statement with simple and practical examples. Like we did some programs on checking voting eligibility, finding whether a number is even or not. Then we also did a program for creating a traffic signal. For checking the traffic signal and then building a student grading system. So I had also given you guys five small programs as an assignment. I hope all of you have tried them. If you have any issues or errors, then you can write them in the comment sections and I'll help you out there. Now, in this video, we are going to move one step ahead and learn about looping statements and jumping statements in Python. And these concepts are very powerful and you will use them a lot when you write real programs. So first, let us understand what a loop is. So sometimes in a program, we have a set of statements that we need to execute again and again multiple times. For example, suppose I want to print, let's say I want to print from 1 to 10. So if I do this without using loops, how many print statements do I have to write? I have to write 10 separate print statements like print 1, then print 2, and so on till print 10, right? But you can see this, it is not efficient. Instead of writing many print statements, we can write just one block of code and repeat that block multiple times. So every time the block will run, the value will change in each round of execution. So this repeating mechanism is called a loop. So what is a loop? So a loop is a wait, read this. A loop is basically a block of statements that we can execute multiple times repetitively until a certain condition becomes false. So this allows us to repeat work without writing code again and again. So now, before we go into the actual looping statements like while loop and for loop, there is one important concept we must understand, that is the range function. Okay. Now, so this range function is very important in Python and it is used a lot along with loops, especially with the for loop. So let's first understand the range function with some examples. Uh, Let us take this one simple example. So it range is written in this way: range, then bracket, and inside the value. Suppose I have given the value as 10. Now this represents a range of numbers. So when you write a range of 10, it will generate all the numbers starting from 0 up to 10, but it will always start from 0 by default. Remember this, it will always start from 0 by default. However, it will go till 9. We treat this 10 as n. N means any number. And when it prints, it will print the value till from 0 till n minus 1. In our case, it will print 10 till 10 minus 1, that is 9, from 0 to 9. Got it? So This was one of the example. So let us see another example. Okay. So our next example is, let's say there is another form of range. We can use it in different way, like range then 1 comma 10. So here I am passing two parameters in the range function. First one is 1, another one is 10. So what does this mean? So when I pass two parameters, the first value is the always starting point. Okay, and the second value is the ending point. Let us say in this way: range start comma end. Okay, so 1 is the starting point and 10 is the ending point here. And the second value is the ending point, but this ending point is always excluded, as I said here, n. So this is n, so it will print till n minus 1. It will start from 1, it will not start from 0, because here we have not given any starting point. We have simply mentioned 10, but here we are giving the starting point as 1. So it will print from 1 till n minus 1, that is till 10 minus 1, 1 to 9. It will print something like this: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. Okay, so 1 is the, you got it right, 1 is the starting point, 10 is the ending point. Now let us see a case where we can pass three parameters. So three parameters will be in this way: range, again start, then end, and the third one will be uh, steps. I'll explain you this. For example, I'm giving here as range 1 comma 10 comma 2. Okay, now 1 is the starting point, 10 is the ending point, and 2 is the step. Step means the incremented value, how much it will increment. This means it will start from 1, it will go up to 10 excluding 10, and every time increases by 2. So this will print 1, then plus 2, right? The iteration is plus 2. 1 plus 2, that is 3. Again 3 plus 2, 5. 5 plus 2, 7. 7 plus 2, 9. 9 plus 2, 11. But the ending point is 10. Always n minus 1, that is 10 minus 1. Till 9 we have to print. So this will be the value it will print. Okay. So to remember this, I'll write some point here. Range can take one parameter, only stop value, two parameter, start and stop value, and three parameter, start, stop, and step. Step means how much to increase or decrease. Okay, so now let us see practically how we can use these different forms of range. So let me create one directory here with the D3. And here I'll create one Python file. I'll give it as the name as range function. Okay, now so by default, I mean if you directly print range of 10, So we are seeing this range function. What is the range? It is the values between the range given inside the brackets. Okay. So if you give by the range 10, do you think it is going to print the values from 0 to 9? I mean 0 to 10, is it? Let's try. No, it is giving empty result. Why? Because we are not printing the value, right? We are just defining it here. So to print it, we are going to use print then range of 10. Okay. Now 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 also, even if you try to run this, it will not give the values. Let's see. It is printing range 0 to 10. Okay. So this is not showing the actual list of values. So if we want to see the values clearly as a list, we'll have to use the list function along with this range. So how we'll write it? We'll write it using a list. This whole range will be inside this list function. Now let's try. Well, now it is giving us the value from 0 to 10, right? In a list form. Correct? Let us see all the examples we tried. Print. Let me copy this. So here I want to print 1 to 10. So what will be the output? So we saw it here, right? 1 to 10, it will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Let's try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 till n minus 1. Correct? Now let us see our third example. 1, 10, and it was 2, right? Okay. Now it will print from 1 to 10, incrementing the values by 2. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Right? 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Correct? Okay. Now, suppose I want to print all the odd numbers between 1 to 15. Let's see. Print odd numbers between 1 to 15. Okay. Before that, I'll comment this thing. Okay. Now, there is an important note. Okay. So whenever the question is to print odd numbers in a range, we should always start the range from an odd number. In our case, the first odd number is 15. Oh, sorry, 1. Right? So we can use the range function like sorry. It is not okay. So for example, print, then inside list function there will be a range function from 1 to 15, and as we want only the odd numbers, so it will start from 1, so we have to increment by 2. 1 plus 2, that is 3, then 5, then 7. So it will print all the odd numbers between 1 to 15, right? This one. Let us run this. So it is giving all the odd numbers between 1 to 15. This means it will start at 1, go up to 15 excluding the 15, and increase by 2. So the output will be this. So similarly, if we want to print even numbers, so as I said here, I will write one important rule. If odd, then start the range from an odd number always. Okay. Now I want to print a even number between 1 to 15. If even, start the range from even number. So in our case, okay, you guys will better understand if I change the example, I mean the number between 2 to 15. Now we have to start from the even number. The first even number is 2. Okay, then till 15, and it should increment by 2. 2 plus 2, at first it will print 2, then at first it will print 2, then 2 plus 2, that is 4, then 4 plus 2, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 14. So this will be the output. Let us run this. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, right? Okay. now now think about this another example. What will the output for this? Let's say I'm using a print function, inside this a list function, again inside this a range, and I'm giving 10 comma 0 comma a negative iteration. Okay, now does this mean? Here we are starting from 10 and going backwards, because this negative iteration, it means we will go backward and till 0. Now because the step is -1. Okay, let's decode it first. Okay, so start is 10 and then stop is 0. It will stop before 0. Okay, then step is -1. This means it will move backwards by 1 each time. Okay, now it will generate? It will generate numbers from 10 going downwards till 1. Let us run this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 till 1. It will not print 0 because we exclude the endpoint, right? Got it? So you can see how this range function also works in reverse when the step is negative. There is another example I will use. Let's say print then list then range, and now I am giving the starting point as -5 and the ending point as 5. Okay, now what do you think? What will the value output of for this one? Try to guess. So here we are starting from -5, right, and going up to 5 excluding 5. So the sequence will be something like -5 comma -4 comma -3 comma -2 comma -1, then 0, well, till where? Till 5 excluding 5. 1 2 3 4. Okay, now let us run this and check. Well, it is giving us from -5 till 5 excluding 5. 5 minus 1, that is till 4. Okay, so this is how we work with the range function in Python. So with this understanding of range, we can now move to loop statements and see how we can combine range with loops, especially for the, especially with for loops. Okay, now I'll show you how we work with for loop and while loop, uh, which are our looping statements. I'll use some examples here. So whenever we want to execute statements multiple times, we put them inside a block, and we can either use a while loop or a for loop to repeat them. Okay, so let us see what is while loop. Suppose our requirement is to print number from 1 to 10. Okay, uh, listen this carefully. Our requirement is to print numbers from 1 to 10. Now we have already seen how we can generate such numbers using this range function, right? I don't want to print them as a list now. I don't want them to print as a list like this. These are the list, right? So I don't want them to print in this manner. In fact, I want to print each number individually on the screen. One per line. For this, we can use a while loop. So whenever you write a while loop, there are three important things you must always remember. The first one is initialization. Okay, initialization means from where to start. Next is condition. Condition means when to stop the loop. Basically, by giving some condition that this should go till less than this value, less than greater than this value, or is equal to this value, right? So the condition will decide when to stop the loop. And the third thing is increment, okay, or decrement. Fine. So this means increment and decrement, you have already seen, right? If we give negative value or positive value, it will increment according to that. So increment is nothing, it says how much to change the value in each iteration. Okay, fine. So in simple words, we can say initialization will tell you when to start, condition will tell you when to stop, and increment or decrement will tell you how much to move in each step. So let us see with a simple example. Sorry, spelling mistake. What is the meaning? Okay, so this is our while loop, and we want to print 1 to 10 using while loop. So at first we'll give uh, we'll initialize the initial value with some variable. Let's say I'm taking the variable as I. I is equal to 1. 1 is my starting point, let's say. Okay, so this is our first point. This is our initialization here. Okay, then what comes? Condition. So the syntax of while is, we'll write while, and inside the bracket we'll give the condition. So our requirement is to print 1 to 10, right? So we'll use the condition I less than is equal to 10, and then with this. So this means condition. This is our second important point. So we want to print values from 1 to 10. So condition is I less than is equal to 10. I is 1. In the first, it is initialized to 1. It will start from 1. Okay. Now we want to print the value of I, right? Print I. Okay. So if I print this, do you think it is going to give us the value from 1 to 10? Let us try. Well, now loop is not stopping here. Why? Because we have simply printed the I here. At first it is initialized to 1, and the condition is this. Inside this loop we have to give another, we have to enter another line, that is I is equal to I plus 1. So what we missed? We missed the third point, increment. I said, right, these three are the important points. Without these three, you cannot write any program using while loop. So now I am giving the increment part. This is increment. Okay. So what is happening here? Now initialization will, this initialization, it tells where to start. Increment here tells how much we have to change every time. So the condition will tell when to stop repeating these statements. Okay. So at first, okay. So at first it is I is equal to 1. Then the condition is, then it will check the condition, that is I should be less than or is equal to 10. And then if I is, okay, is, in our case, is I is less than 10, less than or is equal to 10. What is I? I is 1. So 1 is less than or is equal to 10. Right, it is, right? It is. 1 is always less than 10. Yes, it is true. So it will execute the print I statement, and it will print at first, it will print 1, correct? Then it will increment by I is equal to I plus 1, that is, in our case now I is 1, I plus, sorry, next I will be 1 plus 1, which is 2. So our new value will be 2 for I. It will print 2. Sorry, it will then again check here. Is 2, I mean our I value, now it is 2, right? The new value is 2. So is 2 less than or less than 10? Yes, it is again true. Again it will print 2 here. Similarly, it will increment again by plus 1, that is 3, and it will check 3 is less than 10. Yes, it is true. It will print 3, and it will go till 9, right? I mean it will continue till 11, but when I is equal to 11, the condition, so let's say uh, when I reaches to 11, okay, it will check the condition here. Is 11 less than or is equal to 10? False. That means it will come out of the loop. It will not print. It will end till here. Now, okay. Now let us run this. Sorry, it will go till 10, not 9. That was the range function. This is while function, while loop. Okay. Now let us run this again. See, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 till 10. 11 it will fail because 11 is not less than 10, it is greater than 10, right? So it will be false, and once it is false, it will stop the loop statement. It will come out of the loop. Fine. Now imagine, uh, okay, I'll give you another example for the same program. Imagine you are climbing stairs from 1 to step 10. So when I is equal to 1, you are standing on step 1. When y is I mean I is less than is equal to 10, you will ask yourself, am I still on or below step 10? Then it will print I. You say the step number allowed. Let's say you took a step for the very first step. Now it is 1, and 1 is less than is equal to 10, right? Then you will go to the increment part, and you will sorry, it will go for the print statement, and you will say it aloud that you went to the very first step 1, right? So 1 will print here. You will move to the one step ahead by incrementing it till 2. Similarly, it will go till 10. On step 11, you can't reach step 11 because 11th number step is greater than 10. In our case, it is failing this condition, so it will come out of the loop, right? So you repeat this process, you check the condition, and then you increment it, and it will print till 1 to 10. So uh, now there is one another important point to understand in while loop, that is indentation and whether a statement is inside or outside of the loop. Indentation means this thing. So I mean the parallel lines. Let's say, okay, let us take another example and explain this. This is example 2. Let's say I am writing 1 is equal to 1, sorry, I is equal to 1, and then, okay, I'll copy this thing. Okay, now I'll remove these comments. Now let's say I'm I'm writing on another print statement as done. Okay, now if I run this, I'm getting this print, the last print statement in the very end of the result, that is here after 10, right? Now let's say if I press a tab button before P and make it parallel to the before lines, and then if I print, I mean then if I run it, you'll observe that it is printing, the print statement is printing after each value, right? So it is aligned at the same level as the while statement, if you see properly, right? Not under, it is not under it. When I do like this, it is not under it. When I press a tab, it is under the loop statement. So when it is outside of the loop statement, It is not a part of the while loop. So it will only execute once after the loop finishes, right? That's why it gave the output as done in the end of the line, on the end of the execution, on the end of the result. So you see all the numbers print first, then after the loop is finished, done is printed once. Now imagine you, let's say, when you press a tab here. So in this case we were getting this done statement printed after each and every number, right? So here it is indented, we call it indented. I hope the spelling is correct, indentation. And it kept inside the while loop. Now it becomes part of the loop, so it will run on every iteration, right? Okay. So remember, in Python, indentation is very important. So whether a line is inside the loop or outside depends only on its indentation, that is alignment. So if it is inside the while loop, it runs every time to the loop runs till the loop runs, and if it is outside, it runs after the loop finishes. Now let's try one another example. Which example it was? 2. Okay. Now let us try with another example. Example 3. I want to print, the requirement is to print uh, 10 to 1 in reverse order using while loop. So I'll copy the same. Okay. Now we want to print backwards from 10 to 1. So in our above scenario, we were printing from 1 to 10 moving forward. So we were incrementing it by plus 1. That is 1 plus 1 2 plus 2 2 plus 1 3, similarly till 10. But in our case, now we have to decrease it. We have to decrease. We have to use the decrement. That is 1 minus 1. Now if you print, sorry, my bad, we are missing something. I is equal to 10. Okay, sorry. We want to print from 10 to 1, right? So our initial point will be 10, and also the condition is wrong here. Why? Because we use this to print less than 10. Now we want greater than 1, right? Greater than 1. Let's say greater than or is equal to 1. Fine. Now let's run it again. Correct. 10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. Now what is it is doing here? Here we start at 10, and as long as I is greater than or is equal to 1, we keep printing I. So in each iteration we subtract 1 from I. So the output we got is this. At first our I is 10. Then it checked whether 10 is greater than or is equal to 1. It is greater than 1. True. It will print I 10. Fine. Then it will do minus 1. 10 minus 1. Now I is the newest value of I is 9. 10 minus 1. 9 10 minus 1 is 9. Now 9 is greater than or is equal to 1. It is true. It is greater than 1. It will again print I, that is 9. Similarly, it will print it 1. Okay. So this is all about the while loop for now. Just remember the key difference between if else and while. In if else, what we used to do, the condition is checked once, and based on that the block runs. one time. But in while loop, it is not like that. In while loop, as long as the condition is true, the block can run many times, right? So while is used for repetition. Now let's create another file. I'll name it as for loop. Now what is for loop? Okay, so in many cases, using a for loop can make our code, code little bit shorter and cleaner, more cleaner compared to the while loop, especially when we are working with ranges. So in a for loop, we do not explicitly write initialization or condition or increment like how we did in separately in while loop, right? Instead, we normally use the range function, which we saw here. I said before, right? We are going to use this range function inside the for loop. So we will use this range function with for, and the range in itself will take care of the starting value, then the ending value, and the step, that is increment or decrement. So that is the biggest advantage of for loop in Python. So let us see some example. Let's say I want to print uh, print again the same requirement 1 to 10, but this time using for loop. Okay, let me check whether the recording is continue. Okay, it is going on. Print 1 to 10 using for loop. Now in for loop we use a operator called as in. Always remember, in for loop we use a operator called in. Okay, how? In this way. If let's say for I in range, for I in range 10. Now if I print I here, if I print I here, you will see it is going to print from 0 to 9. That is from, I said right, in the range function we are using range here. So the rule of the range function was it will by default start from 0 and it will go till n minus 1. In our case n is 10 till 10 minus 1 9. You saw right? So in a single line we did it. And okay, let's take another example. Let's say I want to print 1 to 10 exactly. Then I want 10 also to be included in my result. 10 should be included in the result. Okay, now in this case what we can do, we'll use the same logic, but this time we'll use the starting point and the end point. We'll define it clearly. It should start from 1 and it should go till 10. I want 10 also. That's why I'll give 10 n minus 1. That is what minus 1 is equal to 10? That is 11, right? So in our case, it should go from, it will start from 1, it will go till 10, n minus 1. Let us run this. Sorry. There is some issue in my keyboard. Not sure why it is not working. Okay, let me run. It is printing from 1 to 10 because we have defined the value, the starting and the end value. That's why. Okay. Now let us see one another example. This was our example 2. Now example 3. Now in our example 3, we want to print only even numbers between 1 and 20 using for loop. So if you remember here, in the range function, when I was talking about the range function, I said one thing, that whenever the iteration is positive, then it will start with the first even number. I mean, whenever you want to print a even number, it should start with even number. When you want to print only the odd numbers between the given numbers, then you have to start the range from an odd number, right? So now we have to start, now as we are printing only the even numbers, we will start from the first even number, and our first even number is 2 here, between 1 to 20. So we'll use for I in range from 2 till 20, right? And how much it should increment so that we'll get only the even numbers? If I give 1, let's say 2 plus 1 is 3, so we are getting the odd number. That's why we have to take 2. 2 plus 2, 4. Again 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 2, 8. Similarly till 18 it will print. It will not print the end value. Got it? Let's try. Print I. See. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 and 18. Correct? So here we start from 2. It goes till less than 20 and step is 2. So it will print 2, 4, 6, 8 till 18. And these are the even numbers between 1 and 20. Okay. Another example. So the more example you practice, the more concept you can grab. Now I'm suppose I want to print 10 to 1 in descending order. In descending order using for loop. Okay. So if you remember in the range function, I showed you this one, right? How it printed the uh, from 10 to till 1 using this range function. So it has a starting, it has a ending point, and then how much decrement it should do. In our case, it should do decrement, right? Because -1 here indicates it will move backwards by one each time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, like this. The same logic we are going to use it here. So we want the starting point. We are printing the backward number, right, from 10. So starting point will be 10 till 0, and it will decrease the value by 1. See, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It will not print 0. 0 is the excluding part here. Okay. Now, so this is how we use for loop along with the range function. Now, let us talk about the jumping statements in Python. This one, this jumping statement. Okay. So there are two jumping statements in Python: break and continue. We'll see how to use break and continue with loops with some example. Okay. What should we give the name as jumping statement? Fine. Okay. Fine. Okay. So let us try to understand this first. So for I in range 1 comma 10, print I, it will print from 1 till 9. So it will start printing from 1 in this manner: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now suppose our requirement is as soon as this I reaches to 5, I want to stop the loop completely and come out of it. Also, we don't want to change the range condition 1 comma 10. That means we want to exit this for loop as soon as I becomes 5. Now for that purpose we have to use break statement. And how we are going to use it? We'll simply type break here. With the help of if statement. If I, so the condition is as soon as I is equal to 5, it should come out of the loop. I is equal to 5. Okay. Break. Fine. Then print I. Now let's run this. So you will observe the value we are getting is 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? Because the condition is when I is equal to 5, it should stop this execution. Okay. Okay, let me try to understand this. Try to make you understand this. That when let's say the loop here starts with I is equal to 1. Okay. Now for each I, first it checks if I is equal to 5, and if I is not 5, it should print I. Then when I becomes 5, the condition I is equal to 5 becomes true, and when it is true, it will execute the break statement. That means break means it will come out of the loop, it will stop the execution, right? Becomes true, so break gets executed, right? And once break gets executed, what happens? The break will immediately jump out of the loop, and the loop stops. Okay, so this is the mechanism of break statement. Well, now you noticed, right, it is printing till 4, it is not printing 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, because break exited the loop when I reached to 5. So we call this a jumping statement, because as soon as the condition is true, the break statement jumps out of the loop block without executing the remaining statements inside the loop. Now we'll let me do one thing. I will use one more print statement and I'll type here program exited. Okay, now when I added this print statement, so this is not the part of the loop block, so it will execute after the loop is terminated. That means after the result, right? So this is indentation which I showed you before. So now this is how we use the break command. Let us suppose what happens when we use the continue statement instead of break. We'll use the same example here. Okay, and instead of break I will simply type continue. Okay, now here you'll see, if I run this, well, it is printing 1 to 9. But here 5 is missing, right? So what continue does is, continue does not exit the loop. Instead, it skips the remaining statements in the current iteration and moves to the next iteration. So when I is 5, continue will skip the print I for that particular iteration and move to the next value of I. That's why here in our case it is skipping 5 and printing all other values, right? So in the beginning, when I was 5, when the value of I was 5, we used continue and skipped the printing statement. So you can think of it like this: break stops the entire loop, but continue only skips the current iteration and moves to the next one. Fine. Now suppose I want to skip multiple values. Let's say I want to skip 3, then 5, then 7, from 1 to 9. Then what I have to do? Simply I have to give or operator, or I is equal to 3, or I is equal to 7. Now you will notice that it skipped 5, 3 and 7, right? Okay, great. Let us now move to the next part, which is working with numbers and strings in Python. Fine. Give me 1 second. Okay. So what happens, In most of the programs that we write, we usually work with numbers and strings. Now Python has many built-in methods and functions, okay, that make working with numbers and strings very easy. So we'll go through some of them. First, let us talk about numbers. So I will create another file, name it as built-in functions. Okay. There is some issue with my keyboard. I don't know why it happens every time. Built-in function. Okay. So in Python, there are two main types of numbers. We have already discussed this. The first one is int, basically the integer value, and the second one is float, the decimal value, right? But when I talk about strings, we have only one main type, that is str. So it is used for text data, like printing any word or statement inside a inverted commas. Okay, so let us first start with built-in functions in Python for numbers. Fine. Now let us see some important built-in functions for numbers in Python that help us to perform common operations easily. For example, if let's say there are some given set of numbers and I want to find the maximum among it, what I have to do? Simply I have to use the keyword max, max. This is the function. This is the built-in function that Python provides to make our work easier. Now in this case, what you're going to do? Let's say there are some given set of numbers, 22, 6, then 65, let's say 33, 11, some random values, 76, 23.8. I'm giving some decimal values also, float values also, 79.5. okay, now I want to print the max among these, right? What I can do here, I can, if I run this, I'll get the maximum value, okay, that is 79. Fine. So similarly, if I want to find the minimum among these, what I'm going to do is, instead of max, I will write min. So min is the function, built-in function in Python to find the minimum among the given values. So 5 is the minimum among these values. Fine. Now we have another function, built-in function, we call it as power function. So let's say we want to find the power of 2 to the power of 3. Okay, how we can do that? Print, we'll use this function POW, then 2 will be our base, comma 3 will be our exponent. So 2 to the power 3 is 8, correct? The first value will be always base followed with comma, and the next value will be its exponent. Okay, cool. Now another built-in function in Python for number is absolute value, to find the absolute value. So absolute values always returns a positive number, right? So for that we'll use abs. This is a function. Let's say I want to find the absolute value of minus 10. So absolute value of minus 10 should be 10. Right? Now, moving to the next one, we have a round of values. Let's say I want to print the round of 3.4. I'll use round function 3.4. Now if I run this, I'll get the round of value, which is 3. Correct? Next, we have something called as checking type using instance. So let's say print is instance 10 comma int. Now it will check the number type. That means is instance 0 comma int means it will check if 10 is of type int or not. So this will always return a boolean value, either true or false. In our case it is true. Right? Then also we can, yeah, type is also one of the built-in function. We already saw this, right, in the previous lectures. Print type, I want to get the type of 2.3. This is float, right? If I run this, it will print me its type float. Perfect. Now similarly there are many more built-in function for numbers, but we are going to use these many functions in our upcoming programs. Now let's say I want to see the built-in functions for strings in Python. For strings, okay. Now we'll see some built-in features and functions for strings in Python. So there are many string functions available, so it is not necessary to remember all of them from day one. We'll discuss a few important and commonly used ones, okay. Once you start practicing, you will naturally remember them. So first let us see different ways of creating string variables. The first one will be example 1, ways of creating string variables. So there are total 4 valid ways to create a string variable. We already saw this before. First is writing anything inside a single inverted comma, then the same using double inverted comma, right? Another one is using str and inside single inverted comma. Well, let me change the variable, otherwise it will be going to give us the error. M N. So if you run this, okay, here we are not getting anything. 1 second. Okay, we are not printing anything actually. That's why print s comma and m comma n. Welcome. So in all these 3 cases, same. There is one more way. S is equal to, sorry, O is equal to str inside double inverted comma. same thing, right? So all four ways are valid here, and they all create a string with the value welcome here. So there is no difference among them. You can use single quotes, double quotes based on the convenience. Now let us see how to create an empty string. Example 2. Creating an empty string. Sorry, empty string variables. Okay. So here at first, let's say I am giving name is equal to within the double inverted comma. So nothing is there, right, inside the inverted comma. Next, let's say better we give it a value, I mean variable as a single j, using a single, I mean double inverted comma, single double inverted comma also we can do it. And one more way is k is equal to str. Now if I print I, j, k, so am I going to get any error for this? Let's see. Yeah, so it says unterminated string literal. Okay, I'm sorry, this is single inverted comma. Okay, now it is not giving anything because all the values are empty here. So here I is a string variable, j is a string variable, k is a string variable, but currently it does not hold any characters. So it is an empty string, but it is still of type string, and later you can assign any values inside it. Now let us talk about two important terms, mutable and immutable. Mutable and immutable. So what is mutable? Mutable means we can change the value of the variable in place. We can change the value of the variable in place. Immutable means we cannot change the value in place. That means if we change it, a new value is created at a different memory location. I'll tell you what are these terms. At a different memory location. So we will use these terms multiple times across Python topics, especially when we discuss collections like list, tuple, sets, and many more. So now the question is, are strings in Python are mutable or immutable? Well, the answer is strings are immutable. Let us see how it is immutable with an example. Okay, let's say we have a variable str1 and the value we store here inside it is welcome. Okay, so when you create this variable, now Python allocates memory to store this value. Listen carefully. Okay, Python will allocate the memory to store this value, Whenever we create a variable, Python internally allocates some memory location to store its value. Suppose str1 is a variable holding the string welcome. So the value welcome is stored at some memory address. Okay. Now, if you want to know the memory address, which we call as ID, so ID is nothing. ID is also known as memory address. Okay. Fine. So sorry. So let's say I want to get is ID of str1. What I have to do? Simply print ID str1. See how simple is this Python language, right? You don't need to do anything. It's a kind of just reading a statement. Now if you print this is the output. So you see some number like this, right? So as soon as we say str is equal to 1 welcome, str1 is equal to welcome, Python creates a memory location for str1 with this value. Now suppose we change str1 like str1 is equal to str1 plus 2 Python. Welcome to Python, or let's say welcome to SDET nest. Okay. Now I will print this. Now if I run, I am getting another value. If you guys have noticed earlier, the value was different. Now I am getting another value. So what is happening here? Initially when str1 had a welcome and some memory ID, after we do str1 is equal to str1 plus SDET nest, we are actually creating a new string value, welcome to SDET nest, right? And assigning it to str1. So Python does not modify the existing string in place. It creates a new string in a memory location with a new ID. So this is why the ID changes. So from this we can understand that if the value's memory address or if the value's ID changes after updating the variable, it means the type is immutable. That's why I said strings are immutable. So whenever you change them, Python creates a new string and it does not modify the existing one in place. So later when we discuss the same thing inside, when we discuss this lists and sets, we will use and we'll see examples where the ID does not change or modified, and those we call mutable. For now, just remember strings are immutable. Now let us see how the plus and star operators work with strings. So these operators are arithmetic operators for numbers, but for strings they behave differently. Plus and star operator. Sorry, let's angle it down. Plus and let's say star operator. Okay. I created this inside this. Sorry. Why it is saying? Okay, sorry. Better we name it a little different. we'll name it as unique operator. So there is nothing called as unique operator, but just for understanding purpose we are giving it a name, plus and star operator. Okay, so let us try to understand this with an example. Now these operators, as I said, are arithmetic operator. Okay, these are for arithmetic operator for numbers, but for strings they will behave differently. So our first example will be using plus and star operator with string. Let's say we have a variable str and the value we have inside it is welcome. Okay, now when I say print str plus inside this programming, what it will do, it will concatenate with welcome and it will give us welcome programming, right? If we give one more space here, welcome programming, fine. But when we use the multiplication operator with any string, then what we are going to get, not with a string, sorry, let's say str into 5, what we are going to get, it will print this str value 5 times, welcome 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 welcome, see, 5 times, right? So in the first, print plus performs concatenation, it joins welcome with programming and prints welcome programming. In the second, it repeats the same string welcome 5 times. Now let us talk about slicing, the very most important part. Okay, so what does slicing mean in Python? Slicing means, let me go to the note. So it means extracting a part of the string, extracting a part of the string. So using this slicing, we can extract a portion of the string, we can count the number of characters inside that particular string, we can get the substrings of that string, or even we can reverse the string. So the syntax is very simple, string, then following with this bracket, start and end. What does this start and end means? Let's say we have some value here, let's say 1 or 2, then this means here start, I'll tell you with an example. Start means include, these are the rules, included, and means excluded, remember this. Okay, now let us take an example. Let's say s, we have a variable s is equal to, we have welcome here. Okay, now how this, how, I mean, if you see its index positions, okay, wait, let me show you an image here. not printing. One second. Okay, I was not expecting this much big. Better move this slicing into the next page. Okay, now these are the indexes. If you see clearly, there are two indexes. One is positive 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It always index always start from 0. Now the index of W is 0, E is 1, L is 2, similarly till E is 6, right? These are the positive index, and this is also one of the rule. Positive indexes go left to right. Remember this. Okay, positive indexes go left to right, and negative index go right to left, opposite. So let us see some example, and you guys will understand this better. But remember this, positive will always go from left to right, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Negative will also always go from right to left, minus 1, 2, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, similar. Okay, well, so our first example, let's say we have a variable str. Inside this we are storing the same values, welcome. Now I am printing print 1, sorry, str 1, 3. One second. Okay, now as we saw, one is the start point which will be included, and 3 will be the end part which will be excluded. Okay, now if you run this, you will get EL. Why? Because 1 is the index here and 3 is also the end index here. So 1 means this. Okay, better I write it here, 1, 3. That means it will start from 1, which is E, then it will go till 3, but it will not include 3. So what are the values we are getting? E and L, right? That's why we got the value EL. So it basically extracted the string, right? Now let us try another example. Let's say print str. Now the first index, I mean the starting, I am giving it as 0 till I want till 4. Now what do you think? What will the output? 0, 4. 0 is the starting, it will include W, right? W, then it will go till 4, till here it will go. From W it will start, it will go till 4, but 4 will not include, it will exclude because it is the end point. So it will print W E L C till C. So WELC will be the output for this. Let's try to run this. WELC, right? Now let's say I'm using this print str. I'm not giving any start value, and the end value I'm giving it as 4. So what it will do? It will by default, if the value is not given, start value is not given, or the end value is also not given, by default it will pick from the beginning, the very first index. Okay, and if the end value is not given, then at that time by default it will print till the end of the end index. Now here it will print, it will start by default, it will start from 0. W E L C, right? Here also it will give us the same output, WELC. Now this time I'm not going to give the end value, I'll give only the start value, let's say 3. So it will start from 3 till the last. So 3 is C, it will start from C till last, COME, right? Let's try to run this. COME, correct? Fine. Now okay, so till here this is one type of slicing where you can give the start and end value. Now there is another way. Let's see this in example 2. We call it as, this is first way. Okay, there is another way, let's say second way. How? Using string. Now we are definitely going to have the start value, we will also have the end value, but a new thing will add up, which is the step. That means step means how many positions to move each time. Here start and end is same. Okay, and step means how many times, how many positions to move each time. Okay, let us try to understand this with an example, but keep this index in your mind. Let's say we have the same value, str is equal to 1, welcome, but this time I'm going to use print let's say 0, then 6, then 2. Let us copy this. We are missing something here. What? We are missing str. Okay, one more thing. Here we are defined this variable as str, right? Suppose if I use s, then here also you have to change it to s. Okay, the way you give the name for the variable, the same thing you have to do it here. Fine. Here, let us try to understand. Start is 0, so it will start from W, but it will end till 6, that is E. But the most interesting thing is step here. It is saying 2, which means how many position to move each time? 2 times. So it will print 2 times W E L. That means W, it will jump to L. Then from L 1 2 O, W L O. Then 1 2. But the end is 6. So 6 will be always, end will be always included. So the output will be W L O. W L O. Got it? Fine. Now suppose let us try to reverse the string using slicing. How we can do that? The same string welcome. Now I'll say print, I'll copy this, but this time with a negative step, so that it should move from backward like this, EMOCLEW. Let us try to understand this first. Here now negative, negative step, so go for negative index, right? Here start is 0 W, and is 6, which is E, but E will be excluded, and step is -1, move backward, right? So it will print what it will exclude. It will exclude 6. Sorry, it will, yeah, it is going to exclude 6. Let us see what is the output. Well, we are not getting any value. Why? So why we are getting this empty value here? Empty. Okay, let me comment this first. Sorry, the others. And now let us try to print. So we are getting a empty value. Why? Because there is one important rule we skipped. So the rule says when the step is negative, Python moves from right to left, correct? That means negative index right to left, fine. But the start index must be greater than the end index if we are moving backwards. That means in our case the start index must be greater than the end index, but in our case 0 is less than 6. That's why it is giving empty value. It is not returning anything, just an empty value. So okay, again I'll make you understand. Here it starts from 0 and it ends at 6. So in the string, index 6 is on the right of index 0, right? It is on the right side of index 0, right? So Python cannot move from index 0 to 6 by going backward. it cannot do from right to left. This is not possible. It can go from 6 to 0 or 6 to 5 or 6 to 4, 6 to 3, 6 to 2, 6 to 1. It cannot go from 0 to 1, 0 to 2, 0 to 3, 0 to 4, 0 to 6, 0 to 7 when a negative step is given. Got it? That's why it will empty value. Okay. So the same thing if we correct, in place of 6 I'll give 0, in place of 0 I'll give 6. Now let's see. In place of 6 I give 0, in place of 0 I give 6. Now it is valid because it will start from 6 to and then it will go till 0. So here our rule is applied, that is the start index must be greater. 6 is greater than 0. Now it will go from 6 EMOCLE, but it will not print O, that is W. Let us try. Right, got it? Okay, so I think we have covered important examples. Okay, let me show you one simplest way to reverse the whole string. Print str, what we are going to do is we use this double column minus 1. Now this is very interesting example. Now this one example will clear you everything for this negative steps. So let me print the value of EMOCLE. This one, what it says, do we have any start value? No. Do we have any end value? No. It simply says -1. That means going from backward to front, back to first. Okay, it will print from EMOCLEW. It will print all the characters here. EMOCLEW. Let's try. What is it mean? Okay. Yes. EMOCLEW, just reverse of welcome. Right. Now let us try to solve some of the questions asked in real-time interviews. Let's say we have the same string welcome with same value as, okay, I mean with same variable name as. Now let's say I want to print, well, I have the questions with me, I'll copy paste it here. Fine. Now 1 2 3. Okay, here we are seeing we have simply used this 3 as 3. Now what does S3 means? It will, let us try to run this and see the outputs, then you will understand. Okay, so C is, it is directly going to the index 3, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. So it will print the third one, C. So it neither has any start nor it has any end. Next is 1, 2, 3. That means it will start from this one, E, L, which is 2, and it will not print C because 3 is the ending one. That's why here. Similarly, 1 is 2, this all I have shown, right? So let me do one thing. I'll give you guys this exam assignment. When where S is equal to welcome. If you guys face any issue, let me know in the comment section. Okay, now okay, so there are two more useful functions related to characters, that is ORD and CHR. So before that, let us try to understand what is ASCII value. So ASCII is nothing but it is a let's say it is a numeric code given to every character. So each character has a number associated with it. It is a numeric code given to every character, and each character has a number associated with it. I'll show you one example. Let's say in what will be the value of this. If you simply print A, if you type print A, it will give a value, and interestingly it will be giving us a value as 65, because in ASCII the value of this capital A is 65. Similarly we have for B, C, D, and also for small letters, like small a means 97 in ASCII, and also this 0 also has a value. Not only characters, but this 0 also has a value. Remember this. If you print 0, it will give 48. Now what does ORD do? This ORD. So ORD will return the ASCII value. We also call this ASCII value as Unicode value. Okay, ASCII of a character. Let us see this with an example. ORD and CHR, right? ORD, let's see first. Example. Let's say I'm giving this statement. Okay, print ORD inside single inverted comma just A. Now if you print this, you will see you will get the value as 65, as I mentioned, right? Because in ASCII this value of capital A is 65. Similarly for small a and 0. 97 and 48, right? And so if you let's say if you try to print the value of two characters at the same time, ORD, let's say I'm giving as AB. So what do you think? What will be the output? Yes, here we'll get one error, right? ORD expected a character, but string of length 2 is found. Remember, ORD always works with a single character. Always works with a single character. Okay. So if you pass a string with more than one character, you will get an error like that. Now, what does CHR mean? Or what does this CHR does? CHR will convert a number back to its corresponding character. It is opposite of ORD. What does ORD do? It will return us the ASCII value, the integer value of the the ASCII value of a character in integer format, but character will convert the number back to its corresponding character. Okay, let us see one example again. So now what I'm going to do is, I want the value of this 65. I want to print the character value of this 65, 97 and 48. Okay, this is CHR, right? '65, 97 and 48. Now if you run 97, okay, sorry, my bad. These are the integers, so we can't put this inside commas. Also, I didn't use CHR only. Then how it is going to print? Definitely it is going to give error, right? Now if you print, see, it is giving us the character value of 65, which is A, 97, small a, 48, 0. This is completely opposite this OR and CHR, right? Now let us try one example here. Let us try to write a program to print the alphabets using for loop. Let's say example to print alphabets using for loop. So if you remember how we use the for loop, simply giving for I in range. Now you might be thinking, if we give a comma z and if we print the value of I, it will give us the value from a till z, right? But this will not work, because range always accepts numbers, it doesn't accept character. So we must convert these characters to their ASCII numbers using ORD. And let us try this. So let's say I want the value from A when from A till Z. Now, do you think it is going to give us the value? Let us try. Well, there is an error. What is the error? Okay, we are not using the syntax properly. Let's see, it is giving us the ORD value, which is ASCII value from A to Z, right? One second, let me give another example as F. Okay, I'm really sorry. Here we are printing the I. Remember, we are changing this value, but we are printing the I value. Instead of I, we have to use CHR. Here, ORD A means 97. ORD F means, ORD Z means it will give some value, right? Maybe 121. But the range accepts these numeric values 97 to 121 and 121, 122, let's say, because the last one will be definitely excluded. We are using in for loop, so this we saw in for loop that always the second value will be excluded. Now CHI, what does CHI is doing? CHI is converting each number back to its character. We want to print the alphabet, we don't want the integer, right? So let us run this. See, it is giving us the value from here: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M till Y, because it will not give Z, it will exclude Z, right? So this is the way how we can print alphabet using for loop with the help of ORD and CHR, right? Now we can also use some functions like max, mean and length on a string. How? Let us see. Built-in function in strings. So these are the additional thing. Let's say I want to print the maximum of A, B and C. So what is the maximum here? See, let's see. Yeah, it is C. Similarly, mean of ABC, what will be the value output? It will be A, right? A. Let's say I want to print the total length of these characters. Print len, we'll use len. So how much length? 1, 2 and 3, right? we can also use the operators in and not in with strings. How? One second, these are denominators: max, mean, length in string. So we'll use the in and not in operators. So this, remember, this operator in and not in will always return us a boolean value, either true or false. Okay. So let's say there is an example here. Mm, S is the variable we are storing welcome inside it, and I am printing COME in S. What did I say? It will always return a boolean value. So print com, we use the operator in S in string. So what it is doing? It is checking whether the COME string is present inside the string S, inside the value S, which is welcome. It is there, right? So it is true. Okay. And for not in, print, let's say gone, not in S, means we are checking whether gone string is there or not in S. So this will be true because gone is not in S. It is not in welcome. This will be true. If I use COME not in S, that means CM is not in S. It is there. That's why it will be false. Got it? So this is the opposite of in. Simply, not in is opposite of in. Now we can also compare strings using some relational operators such as greater than, less than, greater than, is equal to, not is equal to in Python. So here in Python it compares the strings lexicographically, meaning character by character using ASCII values, string comparison. So you can use greater than, less than, and many more. So Python compares the string based on ASCII value of characters from left to right. Remember, from left to right. Let us see some example here. String comparison. Okay. Did I spell it wrongly? Comparison. Fine. Now, there are few examples which I have already prepared. Okay. Now let us try to explain each here. So in this one, in the very first one, there are two string, Tim and Tai. Now there is an operator between it, that is equal to is equal to. So it is basically comparing whether this string is exactly same as this string. Compared character by character. T is same as T, fine. I is same as I, fine. M is not M here, it is E here. Therefore, it will give false value. Okay. Next is free not is equal to freedom. Here the string differ in length, right? Free is of 1, 2, 3, 4, but freedom is of 7 characters. So they are not equal. Hence, it will give us true because these are not, free is not is equal to freedom, which is true. Now here arrow and arrow. Arrow is greater than arrow. What it will do? It will match as first one, A as A, true. R as R, true. It is greater, R is greater than R, which in this case it is same. Then again next R is, here we have O. This is the difference, which is greater ASCII than N. Here N, if you see, N is greater ASCII value. N has greater ASCII value. So it is, arrow is greater than Aaron, obviously. That's why it is giving us true. Next is right is greater than is equal to left. So first letter here R and I. Sorry, R and L. So here it will decide. R has a greater ASCII value than I. So this one is greater than this. It is true. Now teeth and t. So what it will do? It is asking basically the operator used here is less than. Now t ends earlier, right? T ends earlier here, and teeth has extra characters. So the longer string is considered greater here. So it is false. This is always greater than this. Okay. Next is yellow less than is equal to fellow. So here the first character y versus f. Y has a higher ASCII value, right, than f. So yellow is greater. That's why it will return false, because this is always greater than fellow. Yellow is always greater than fellow. Fine. And yeah, the last one is there. This is ABC greater than nothing. That means any non-empty string is considered greater than an empty string. Okay. Fine. Okay. We'll see it some another concept, which is iterating string using for loop. So since a string is a sequence type, it is iterable. That means we can use a for loop to go through each character. Example, string iterable. Example, let's say we have a variable s is equal to hello. S is equal to hello. For I in s, print I. What it will do? It will print HELL. Getting it? Now let's see how print behaves with the AND parameter. Let's say print, there is one another statement, print s comma and is equal to within double inverted comma slash n. Now if you run this, anyhow this is the default behavior, right? It will print in the next line only. So normally print adds a new line after printing. If we change and its behavior changes. Suppose here I am not giving anything. Now print string without a new line. See the difference here. End of nothing means do not print a new line after printing s. So the next print will continue on the same line. Let's say I gave this. Okay. Another example where nothing is there. See. So let's say this. I'll use another print statement. Print s comma and is equal to foo. Now print will print. Now this print statement will print. Print function will print foo after every string. See. Hello foo. Well, if I comment this part, also this, what's the mistake I did? Print I. Expected an Indian block after for statement. Again the same mistake. Okay, so try to understand this, that hello foo is getting printed because we are using the and text here, and is equal to foo. That's why after hello it will add foo at the end, hello foo. Okay. Now there is one another concept, we call it as testing string. I'll tell you what it is. Now Python string class has various inbuilt methods to test what kind of text a string contains, right? This method return true or false. So let's say there are table of these methods, but I'll show you the table. Okay, I'll try to explain this one by one. So the very first one is lnum. So this is if all the characters are alphabets or digits and there is no space, that means it will be false in our case, right? Next is alpha. Welcome is alpha. So it is true because if it checks whether if all the characters are alphabet, so welcome is all letters, so true. Next is digit, whether all the characters are digits, so it is true. Next is first number is identifier. If the string is a valid Python identifier like a variable name, then first number, here we have a space in between, right? And so it is not a valid identifier. Next is lower. Is lower will basically check if all the characters are in lowercase or not. It will ignore the space. So in our case, it is yes, all are in lowercase. Next is it will next we have is so is upper, right? Is upper. So it will check if all the letters are in uppercase. So it is true. Welcome is in uppercase. Next is space. That means if it will check if the string contains only white space characters. A single space is only space, right? So it is true. You can see this is there is a space in between, right? Now next we have is searching for Python. Sorry, searching for substring. So we also have methods to search the substrings inside a string. I'll give one example here. Here you can see this end with. What does this mean? It will check if the string ends with thon in this string or not. So it is ending, right? Python has thon in the last, so it is true. Next it will check does this string starts with good, god, which is false. It starts with welcome, wl, right? That is, it will find whether com is present, I mean where it is present, in which number. So if we check the index 0 1 2 3, that's why it is giving us 3. Next is s dot find become. So it become is not present, so it will return -1. Do you think become is there? No, right? So it will return -1. Next it will find rfind. What does rfind means? So rfind will basically search for o from the right side and returns the index of the last occurrence. Here it is 15 if you calculate this. That's why it is giving us 15. Next, sorry, I didn't run the program, right, to show you guys. Okay, we can check the values. Okay, Next is s dot count o. What does this mean? It will count how many times o appears in the string. 1, 2, 3. Right? Let us run and see. True, true, false, false. 3 minus 1, 15, and 3. Perfect. Now we'll see how to convert the string. Well, I'll use the example one second. Okay. Now let us try to explain this from the first one, which is s dot capitalize. So basically it will make the first character uppercase and the rest lowercase. So in our case it will be first character in string will be uppercase, remaining will be in lowercase. Next is s dot title. So it will make the first letter of each word uppercase. If you see in our string in Python will be s will be in uppercase, I will be in uppercase, and p will be uppercase. Okay. Next is lower, s dot lower. So it converts the whole string to lowercase. This string in Python was in capital letter, now it will in small letter. Okay. S dot upper, similarly it will convert the whole string into uppercase. Fine. Now what is s dot swap case? So it will convert the uppercase letters to lowercase and lowercase letter to uppercase. If you see, s was uppercase, it got converted into lowercase. Remaining string will be in uppercase. Okay. Next is s dot replace. S dot replace, this is in and on. In means the old one, on means the new one. See, Python only suggested this, old and new. Okay. So what it will do, it will print the by changing the old value to the new one. In place of in, it will replace it with on. So Python on Python, strong on. So basically it should print. Okay. So in is also there, right? In string also we have in, so it will convert this as well, in to on. That's why it will print strong on Python. Okay. Well, let me run this. Great. So you can see it is matching with this, right? Okay. Now this covers all the concepts like the built-in jumping statements, for loop, mutable, or and how to use ORD and CHR, then range function, searching for substring, slicing, the very important concept, slicing, string comparison, string iterable, testing string, unique operator, and while loop. So we'll keep this video till here today. Next video will be very soon. So if you guys have any doubts or any questions, feel free to reach out to me to this in the comment box. Drop your comments or drop your doubts there. Like and subscribe, and also please the guys who are following up this series, please ping in the comment completed, hashtag completed, hashtag complete, so that it will be in two manner. One, I'll be getting notified that okay, you guys are following up, and the second thing is it will keep me motivated. Okay, so see you guys in the next video. Signing off. Thank you for watching.